Very much, Spider. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Taxi drivers at La Paz, Carenage, and Point Serafin remain without trips. Hotel industry staff struggle with rotation, reducing their working hours to as low as 2 days, in some cases weekly. St. Lucians who have invested in Airbnbs and other tourism accommodation businesses are struggling to fill their rooms. Vendors cry out for more business as their earnings have been significantly reduced. Is that better? Yeah? Workers in the duty-free stores have seen their commissions disappear. Captains and crew members of dayboat charters, mostly locally owned, have seen significantly reduced customers. Tours and attraction owners complain about the reduced cash flow and profitability. Banks struggle to receive payments on loans from tourism businesses and industry workers. Farmers from our rural districts struggle to maintain the lost business and the fallout from the low tourism arrival numbers. The above crisis is largely due to an industry grossly mismanaged by the Saint Lucia Labour Party administration. The result of this mismanagement by Labour is a crushing blow to our cruise arrivals. The numbers from the Tourism Authority suggest the following. For the month of January, they suggest that the destination in cruise arrivals grew by 10%. For the month of February, they suggested that we had a 24% decline, crushing blow when compared to February of 2024. The month of March, we've seen a significant decline as well. 21% decline, reports the Saint Lucia Tourism Authority. In the month of April, they suggest that the numbers also went down to 1%. But it got worse in the month of May. The numbers suggest that our cruise arrivals in May this year, when compared to last year, declined by a whopping 72%. Yes, you heard right, 72%. In the month of June, the numbers were also significantly down by 71%. And in the month of July, the cruise arrivals to the country went down by 72%. The above represents the worst low season cruise performance the country has ever recorded in history, outside of a pandemic, a natural disaster, or a global shock. It begs the question, does this low performance have anything to do with a protest from the cruise industry to the GPH deal? St. Lucians are aware by now that not only has the government leased the port for $1, but they have given the GPH company one of the sweetest deals ever to be recorded in Caribbean history. We would have also witnessed that when GPH announced a deal in Antigua to redevelop and manage their cruise port, that several cruise lines belonging to two of the largest companies in the cruising world decided that they were going to pull up the anchor and go to another destination. That represented almost 80% of Antigua's cruise business. In response, the Antiguan government decided that this blow was too heavy for the people and the stakeholders of Antigua to survive. They went to those two cruise companies that control most of the brands that you know in the cruise business and said to them that they would exempt them from the increasing fees that would have been attracted by the GPH agreement of that country. So as a result, the increased taxes which GPH would have leveraged on the rest of the cruise industry does not apply to a significant number of Antigua's cruise arrivals. In Saint Lucia, we have seen no such development. So therefore, we have no indication that a similar move is afoot by the Saint Lucia Labour Party administration. But what we do see is a continuing trend by the numbers of cruise arrivals going to our neighbors. So while our taxi drivers lament that they have not had any ships in Saint Lucia, we continue to see numbers in Dominica, we continue to see numbers in St. Vincent and other neighboring Caribbean islands outperforming St. Lucia, whereby even in the low summer months, they are getting some level of business to keep them afloat. So the GPH deal, which will now increase the cruise tax or the head tax on visitors coming to our shores, to $12.50 US, is already having its impact on the island's success as a cruise destination. We await to see whether the 72% in May and the 72% decline in June and the 72% decline in July would actually be improved upon in the coming months. And so now, we also see that this bad performance in the cruise industry took effect in the hotel industry as well. Guests staying in hotels in the month of January declined by 2%. Guests staying in the month of February in St. Lucia declined by 2% as well. In the month of March, the declines were even steeper by 7%. And in April, a 0% increase. In the month of May, when the administration would have said to you that they had the best and biggest jazz festival, not even jazz could have caused an increase in the numbers for the month of May. We saw a significant decline. St. Lucians, therefore, ought to be mindful of the government's continuing tendency to cherry pick information and to be convenient with the information they report on these festivals. The question is then arisen that while many St. Lucians will enjoy the local festivities by being gifted free tickets by the Labour Party administration, the question as to whether spending 20 or 25 million, we are left here to speculate because we have not received any pronouncement by the administration what is the exact cost of the Jazz Festival. But what we do know is that the authorities have said that the Jazz Festival remains the island's main tourism marketing event. But in the month that we held the festival, we recorded a minus 3% in tourism arrivals to the country. In the month of June, a crushing blow was dealt to the local tourism industry, where some 12% we recorded in terms of a decline to the destination. The minister cited World Cup last year and rooms being under renovation as the problems. But we would like to submit that these could not be problems, because the destination only filled some 70% of its total room stock, leaving another 30% of total rooms in Saint Lucia extremely empty. And so the minus 12% that we have seen in tourist arrivals in the month of June cannot be because of rooms. In the month of July, you would have seen the minister said that we had the best carnival ever. But the tourism authorities' report suggests that even the best carnival could not save the numbers for the month of July, because we also recorded negative results in the month of July. The minister, though, did say that there has been a reduction in the number of St. Lucians in the diaspora participating in the carnival festivities here in St. Lucia. The U.S. market, consequently, is down in July 2025 when compared to July 2024 by 2%. And the UK market continues to record a crisis situation where it is down by 23% in July this year when compared to July last year. So we have here some very crushing numbers. The numbers for the yacht sector is also significantly down by double digits. So in the yacht sector, in the hotel industry, as well as the cruise industry, we continue to register a crisis within the tourism sector. Crime continues to affect our brand. The reviews on TripAdvisor and other sites are quite clear as to what visitors that have experienced St. Lucia think of its safety. Airlift continues to be in crisis. St. Lucians would have noted the announcement by Virgin Atlantic, TUI, and Sunwing, all in recent times, while several U.S. flights have disappeared ever since this St. Lucia Labour Party administration took office. These U.S. flights includes American Airlines out of Dallas, American Airlines out of Chicago, American Airlines out of JFK, JetBlue out of Newark, as well as many other flights. Reduced budgetary allocations for consumer marketing is also one of the areas where this administration has faltered significantly. It would have meant that the direct consumer marketing spend would have been significantly reduced, thus exposing less people to the destination of St. Lucia. Clearly, a lack of confidence among cruise stakeholders in the government of St. Lucia has resulted in some of the worst numbers in history. And so therefore, the time has come for change. It is time to right the wrong. We can only change these problems if we change the government. So, I need to make a special plea to you to come out this Sunday. Come and join the United Workers' Party. Send a very clear signal to the government that we are less than impressed with the way that they are managing not just tourism, but the way that they're managing crime, the way that they're managing our parliament, the way that they're managing our democracy, the way that they're managing cost of living, the way that they're managing our healthcare sector. Saint Lucia, we have got to get it out of this crisis. I see you on Sunday. I thank you.